WagerTalk continues to be an innovator in this industry, and our WagerBucks program is just one example. Because it's the holidays and we're feeling festive, we're giving you $100 worth of WagerBucks for only $49 using promo code WB49 at checkout. So how do they work? It's simple. You buy credits in bulk at a discounted rate and then apply them dollar for dollar towards your purchase. Use your purchase WagerBucks on $2 Tuesday, $9 packages on Monday, buy your favorite 5% plays with or without the guarantee, grab a 7-day all-access pass or even a 12-month package. That's right, purchase WagerBucks can be used on everything with no restrictions at both WagerTalk and SportsMemo.com. Due to the incredible savings, this special offer is limited to one per customer. From all of us here at WagerTalk, Sports Memo, and the Gold Sheet, we wish you a wonderful holiday season and a prosperous new year.
Hey guys, welcome in and a very happy Wednesday. Yes, it is Wednesday, December the 29th, and we have more than 4 games to choose from here in a college basketball slate. Happy New Year, of course, to you and yours. It is time to talk a little college hoops, and on today's show, we're going to do it with 3 of the most profitable on the hardwood here this year, including Drew Martin leading us off there up at the top. Mid-Major Matt, mostly here to make fun of our third host here. That would be Tony Finn, but Mid-Major Matt, you can also get over at sportsmemo.com. And, of course, Tony Finn hanging with us here today. All 3 of these guys locked and loaded here, guys, over not only at wagertalk.com, but also Mid-Major Matt over at sportsmemo.com. And, Drew, I know you're excited, man. We got college football. We got bowl action here today. We finally got a healthy card here, somewhat of college basketball games. What's going on at Wager Talk, man? What do you got going for us?
Sure, Joe. Thanks for having me on, man. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year out there to everybody watching. In Wager Talk, bunch of good specials, guys. We got that huge promotion with 3 months free. College football, college basketball going well as the NFL hitting over 70% the last 5 or 6 weeks now, Joe. So seeing it well, and talking about the games we got today, actually 3 really good games. And just looking at Twitter, our esteemed producer here, Robert, tweeting out that 30 college basketball games have been canceled for today. It's peppered, if you look at the Wager Talk odd screen here, with just games being canceled. But fortunately, as of now, 11 a.m. Pacific time, we got 3 good ones we're breaking down. One of them I got a big bet on, Joe, so excited to get after it with you.
Yeah, well, Robert, he's kind of he's a Rockets fan, so everything is glass half full with him. But that's all right. We got plenty more games to choose from here today on the card, and Mid-Major Matt knows it because there are some mid-major programs, in fact, in action here today. Matt, tell us, what do you got going on over at at sportsmemo.com, rather?
Well, it's actually my first day in a week with a college basketball wager. It's been a solid week, and I'm fully expecting at least one of them to lose somebody due to COVID, I'm sure. So that'll be fun. Went 4-2 last night in the bowls. A couple more bowl plays up today over at sportsmemo.com, but looking forward to breaking down today's card.
Yeah, it's a decent card. And Tony Finn, welcome back here talking college hoops. We get you all the time on the NBA show, but get us caught up college basketball-wise. What do you got going on right now at WagerTalk.com?
I have nothing. Like Matt, it's been about a week since I kind of take that Christmas off, and there were so many games that over the last couple of days, or not a couple of days, last week, that have either been canceled or something's happened. Somebody's opted out. Somebody's come up with COVID, and it continues to progress, obviously. If Robert's reporting that 30 are canceled now. I haven't noticed. I've noticed a few, but I'll have to check into that. I do have a couple possibilities in college. I do have a college football bowl game. 5% are going tonight. It would be the late game. I think the first game's already off, or at least getting ready to go off. And I didn't have anything on the second game. Nothing yet in the NBA either, Joe. But as soon as this show's over, I will do my final checks, and there'll be something for somebody to purchase or laugh at when it's all said and done.
Oh, we're going to laugh at it regardless. Tony, you know that. But, hey, let's get it rocking and rolling here, guys. Game number 1 on the card here tonight we're going to take a look at, and it's a doozy, SEC. How about Tennessee taking on Alabama in this one? Now, I do believe there were reports on maybe a player or two of Tennessee missing in action for this game. This line has moved up, I think, to somewhere around the 4 mark. Total 148.5 as an open. I think that's come down a little bit as well. 9 o'clock Eastern time tip here. So, Drew, talk to us here. Talk to me about Tennessee, Alabama. Who do you like?
Sure, Joe. I mean, 9-2 Tennessee here. Rick Barnes, the number 2 defensive efficiency team in the country, however, only hitting 68% of their free throws. A team that I would look to bet on normally. You bring up the COVID kind of questions here, and whenever that's part of the handicap, I'm usually not looking to bet on that team that has those question marks, that being Tennessee for tonight's matchup. And looking at the odds movement here from -1 to -4 on Alabama, a 2.5 3-point move here. And it speaks towards that, how important this is, what guys are going to be missing for Tennessee. And this is an Alabama team, 9-3 on the season. I guess you could say, at least, record-wise, a little bit disappointing for Nate Oates' squad. They lost to Iona and Memphis, and actually off of a loss. They haven't played for 8 days. Their last game was against Davidson, and they dropped that game by 1 point. They're undefeated at home. I would look to be on the favorite here, especially with the COVID questions on Tennessee. But laying 4 here with Alabama, even 4.5 at some shops, this is a team only shooting 67% from the free throw line. When you're laying between, 3 to 7 to 8 points there, Joe, foul fest range is what I like to call it. I want to make sure to be betting on teams that knock down their free throws. Alabama at this point in the season hasn't checked that box. So that's what kept me off sidewise betting Alabama.
Yeah, and it looks like maybe 2 to 3 starters for Tennessee, Matt, tonight out, which is why we've seen this line creep up. But it might as well have been like 3 years ago when Alabama beat the Zags and Houston back-to-back, and everyone was like, pencil them in, Final Four. And they lost to Davidson. Good Lord, in Memphis. So now what are we going to get from this Alabama team here tonight?
Well, I mean, as Drew just said, it's tough to make any sort of wager on Tennessee without knowing who their guys are. If it's, look, Tennessee's got the edge inside with Fulkerson and the Olivier kid, and I think they could exploit them there. And certainly if they get the pace they want, because they certainly want to play this game a little bit slower. I know Tennessee has been faster this season. They've got a top 75 pace, but I don't know if you want to do that necessarily against Alabama in this one. So it's really hard to put any sort of wager on Tennessee, especially, look, if it's Fulkerson, that's a huge loss for the Volunteers with the edge that they have inside. So I would lean to Alabama. What you could do is take the Alabama money line, pair it off with another team you think is going to win tonight, and make yourself a decent little money line parlay. But as this line creeps up, the more value becomes on the money line pairing it off with something else, because as Drew said, I want to back a team that can hit free throws in a potential close game situation.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, listen, it was a 1.5 line to open before the concern about who was going to be available for Tennessee here. But even still, it just feels like it might be a buy low situation here, Tony Finn, on this Alabama team who can, well, certainly they can get out in transition and they can bombs away here. What do you think we're going to get tonight?
Yeah, I think until the question marks that'll come up about the COVID, the line movement itself, that I probably would have leaned Tennessee. Their win over Arkansas, their win over Arizona a week ago, last Wednesday, was impressive. Now I know they shot above their pay grade a little bit, especially from the 3-point. Got out to a quick start, 16-2 lead, but this Arizona team plays at pace. Not only do they play at pace, they have one of the best defenses in the country. They stand head and shoulders above anyone else in the Pac-12 as long as they're playing like they have played. I thought they did a good job. The final score in that game was 77-73. So Arizona made a comeback, but Tennessee held them off. And this is a team I trust, this Arizona team. Tennessee, I've had conversations, guys. People label them inconsistent, but I think that you're going to see that all season long. The fact that Tennessee can go in and they can lose by 18 to a Villanova team, then turn around the next night and beat North Carolina. So that's what you're going to get in college basketball this year. I think a lot of that's going to have to do with, especially with this COVID issue you guys are discussing. Tonight, I would still lean Tennessee unless I find something about Fulkerson. If it's Fulkerson, guys, then I'm probably going to jump. Not only am I going to jump side, I'm going to jump ship. I'm going to go right to Alabama. So let's find out what's going on with that, with what the line move is and who is or isn't out or in with the Volunteers.
All right. Well, we will do our best here to try to keep you posted. Anything pops up here, guys, while you are watching this live here today, right around 2 o'clock Eastern. In the meantime, we will move on to game number 2 that we're going to break down. Oh boy. Oh, Drew's salivating right now. LSU taking on Auburn. Drew's Auburn Tigers here. Auburn as a 4-point favorite here with a total which has been bet up rather quickly. Opened at 140. I'm seeing 144s in the marketplace here. So mid-major, Matt, I'm coming to you here. LSU Auburn, are you shocked by the total line movement moving up here, or is this going to be bombs away, do you think?
Well, I mean, look, this is in a way the LSU's first tough game of the season. And you look at the teams they've played. Look, I have a lot of respect for some of these squads. Belmont, of course, Liberty I have respect of. But you notice a lot of the commonalities here. Home, 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 semi-away, neutral, neutral, home, home. So, look, Will Wade's squad, I've watched some of their games, and there's no doubt how athletic they are. The thing is, they're getting very lucky with teams missing a lot of open shots against them. They're missing a lot of and then they're turning that into something. And the one thing LSU does really well is turn people over. Well, you look at Auburn, they're 16th in fewest turnover percentage in the country. And they're a team that's played tough teams at home. They played tough teams on the road. Auburn's the more battle-tested team. I almost think you could do like an Auburn-Alabama. I know that would be terrible, but an Auburn-Alabama moneyline parlay, because I think Auburn's going to win this game. I'm just not a buyer in LSU despite their undefeated record so far this season.
All right, he's not buying it. It is a true tough road test here, Tony Finn, for this Tigers team. But what do you think? You think they got enough firepower here to take down Auburn?
Well, I think the defensive question marks here. It surprises me, Joe, that this total has gone up. I'm seeing 142. I know that when I did the write-up this morning, it opened at 140. It was 142. I do see your 144s scattered around, but let's just assume, let's make an assumption that LSU isn't overvalued because of their soft schedule, which I've heard over and over again too, and it could very well be accurate. We'll find out tonight, won't we? They're the team that wants to really kind of slow down. Alabama still wants to. Auburn team still wants to play a little faster, and this team, and I trust the fact that Auburn can hold serve. This is a good team. They have been battle tested. Their loss, that double overtime loss to Connecticut, was a game they very well could have won. They too would be undefeated coming into this game. LSU has a lot to prove. If you go to Ken Palm or some of the metrical sites for college basketball, you'll find that LSU is number one, metrically the number one defense in Division I. Of course, some of the weighted factors that come into play that mid-major brought up concern me. I would be on Auburn minus the points here tonight, minus the 4.5, unless somebody could convince me otherwise. That would be the lean I would have.
So, Drew, interesting. Your Auburn Tigers. Listen, both of these teams defensively, they're suffocating, especially against teams that they're bigger than, more athletic than, not necessarily equal to. So are you shocked that the total has climbed the way it has?
Talking about the total, Joe, looking at both of these two teams, they both push pace, top 70 in terms of, average pace metrics. So it doesn't really surprise me that much, especially because LSU, their last game, they had 78 possessions. They were really looking to go up and down. Auburn's been going, high possession games almost all season long. And on one, yes, like Tony's point, number one defensive efficiency, talking about the LSU Tigers, that's its battle of Tigers here, the LSU side of things. But in college basketball, I tend to think, offensive efficiency is more important than defensive efficiency when you're kind of handicapping those two metrics going up against each other. I just think top offensive players can really dominate the game more so than defensive players. However, sometimes that's not the case. But to your question, totals wise, no, I'm not surprised to see some over money, just because I think there's going to be a lot of possessions tonight, guys. Both of these two teams, neither one of them is going to really look to slow it down as we get two head coaches here, kind of walking that gray line. Speaking of Will Wade and Bruce Pearl, what are they doing that's legal? What are they doing that's not legal? But let's be honest, it's college basketball recruiting. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. I like both of these two guys. Auburn, top 20, both offensive and defensive efficiency. Their point distribution, guys, they're going to go how their three-pointers go. And if they're knocking down their threes with the way that they're playing defense, the way that they can rebound, who knows what the ceiling is here. It could be Final Four. Now, granted, I am an Auburn alum here, but looking towards this side, 11-1, 8 straight wins into mid-major match point. LSU, yes, they're 12-0, but who have they played? They played Louisiana Tech, Penn State, Belmont. Outside of that, there's really not a whole lot there. He also mentioned this is their first true road game. This is a tough place to play, guys. This new Auburn arena, it really is a great college basketball home court atmosphere. I think Auburn's the side here, Joe, -4.5.
I love it. All right, Auburn, should be a great battle here tonight, as well as the next game here that we're going to take a look at as we have ranked versus ranked here. A little Big East battle finally for Seton Hall. Taking on Providence. Opens up as a pick-em. I'm seeing maybe Seton Hall -1, but it's hovering right around that with a total of 138 to open here. And Tony Finn, I'll come to you. Seton Hall has certainly been impressive early on with its 9-1 record. It's non-conference games. They are a tough team that seem to be getting better and better. Although Providence, they've shown they can play with just about anybody here so far. So what do you think we're going to get tonight with these two? Yep. All right. You want to mime it? Because we can't hear a damn thing you're saying. So we can, oh, wait. No, let me hear. No, we're still good. Give us some hand signals. We'll see if you got it. All right. I'll lip sync it. Hi, Tony Finn here. Drew, we'll wait till Tony can reset there. Drew, tell me what you think about Seton Hall taking on Providence here tonight.
Joe, these two teams, I mean, adding up to be 20-2 overall with their only losses to Ohio State and Virginia. This is a pretty good resume game. I mean, I think it's actually going to come down to who controls the tempo. These two teams going to want to go at different paces. Providence, near 250 in terms of the pace metrics, and we get Seton Hall, a top 60 team, going to look to go a lot of possessions. They beat Michigan, they beat Texas, but we also have Providence beating Texas Tech, UConn, and Wisconsin. I actually have both of these two teams as bet on, and with Seton Hall hitting 75% from the free throw line, I'd probably lean that way. Degenerate style, I'd lean you towards Seton Hall, but this is a game, Joe, where I'm going to watch and take notes, see who to bet on in the future, because I wouldn't be surprised if both of these two teams punch their ticket into the tournament.
Friars have been pretty good at home this year. In fact, unbeaten, I believe, so far there, mid-major. Matt, what do you think here tonight? Should be a good game. Who you leaning towards?
So the biggest thing that I look at here, and we're going to have to do this with a lot of teams now, is we see the big pauses. Seton Hall, 17 days, and you look at Providence, there's 11 days there. The biggest thing that you want to decide is where did the COVID pauses come? And for Seton Hall, the COVID pauses came with them. And so during that 17-day period, there probably was 7 to 10 days where they were not doing anything. Remember last year, these teams were tough. When you went on a COVID pause, the kids couldn't go to the gym. They couldn't do any endurance. They couldn't do anything. And that's going to be a problem for me with Seton Hall, especially now that they're playing a road game. I might look to Providence in the first half here. We've seen one game so far, at least one that I've seen, when Washington played Seattle after Washington came off their COVID pause. Washington was down 5-6, I think, against Seattle at home. They came back, they got their legs under them in the second half, and they won the game outright. So I'm going to continue with some of the trends that I played last year when it came to teams coming off of COVID pauses, and I'm going to look to Providence in the first half here at home. I think they start fast with that atmosphere. Now, look, there are some rumblings about them having a little bit of a COVID issue too, so maybe you wait as long as possible to get your bet in there. But if everything seems to be good with their roster, I might look at Providence in the first half while Seton Hall gets their legs under them.
All right, good stuff there. I actually kind of like that. Now, Tony Finn, hopefully we've got you back here. Any thoughts on Seton Hall and Providence here?
It depends on whether you can hear me, I guess.
I got you.
All right. I missed some of Drew's analysis, and I just caught some of mid-major Matt's, and I would agree with what mid-major just said. I'm assuming you guys were talking about the 17-day layoff.
Mm-hmm.
That the Pirates, that basically this team's gone. That's concerning. Whether there's COVID issues or not, I'm always concerned a team that's had 17 days off, even if they've practiced, even if they've played in the gym. It's just not the same having live games, live shooting, backgrounds, all different than having a shoot around at practice. So I was impressed with Seton. Listen, the Seton victory over Michigan at that time might look a little better then than it does now. Michigan's had some of their struggles, but in this game, I would be knowing what I know today or believing what I believe right now, this minute, the dunk tonight, that I would be on Providence.
All right, leaning towards Providence. All right, there you go, guys. So 3 games, quality games, some conference games on the board here tonight, and a few others as well. So now it's time to go around the horn and see if there is a game these guys like a little bit more than the others. So, Drew, lead us off here, my man. Talk to us about tonight's card. Is there a game you got circled that you like a little more?
Absolutely, Joe. I am going to the Battle of the Tigers on the Plains, Auburn, Alabama. Guys, we're 2 months into the season almost, and this is LSU's first true road game. I love fading that spot. They're going up against a good Auburn team here, guys. Top 20 in both offensive and defensive efficiency. If they're hitting their threes, they're going to be tough to stop. They are at home. They're 11-1, 8 straight wins. Lay the short number here with the Auburn Tigers over the LSU Tigers. Auburn -4.5 for me, Joe.
Wow, he's going, man. Oh, shocker. I don't think any of us saw that coming at all there. All right, mid-major Matt, talk to us. What obscure team are you going with tonight?
The only thing we needed from Drew there was for him to sing the fight song. My goodness, that was very prideful. Almost like his tuition check was heading towards that game instead of the school. All right, so I'm going with some action tonight, and I'm going to take the team total over for Toledo. It's 81.5, and it's quite simple. You look at Western Michigan, and for those who are Ken Palm familiar, it's very red when it comes to Western Michigan's defense. 330th against the 3, 336th against the 2. You look at their road games, they gave up 90 at Michigan State. They gave up 109 at Iowa. They gave up 85 to Purdue Fort Wayne in a neutral court game, 83 at Detroit, and 85 to Notre Dame. Yeah, this isn't the same Toledo team from last year. Marion Jackson's gone. Littleson's gone as well, but there's still a lot of talent there, and this team's coming off a score of 95 against Marshall at home. Granted, the pace won't be to that high of a thing here, but I like the Rockets. Last year at home, they scored over 90 points against Western Michigan at home. I'll take Toledo over 81.5 points against Western Michigan tonight. The Broncos defense is the gift that keeps on giving.
Ooh, love it. All right. Points, and more points. Talk to us here, Tony Finn. Where are you going on the card here tonight?
I'll make it short and sweet. If you're an SEC fan, which I know Drew is, I'm sure mid-major man is too, but Missouri's basketball has just been horrendous. I mean, they've been really iffy in football for that matters, in my estimation. And I've watched Missouri a lot this year. I watched them play Kansas. I watched them play. Actually, one of their quality wins, which I'd consider at least a quality win, would have been over Utah or maybe even SMU. I still don't like what I saw. I mean, they dropped after their last loss. I think they dropped below 150 in the KenPom. And when they play a good team, when they play a quality team, a team that's 65 or 60 and better in KenPom, their average loss, they're losing by an average of 20 plus points. And this is an opening in SEC. Had it not been an opener in SEC, I would think that maybe Kentucky might have taken some mercy on them late in the second half and played their second or third rotation. I don't think it's going to be that way tonight. I think Missouri doesn't just lose. I think that someone's going to stand up and say, why are they part of the SEC? And I know that's a little bit of an embellishment, but there's that. I believe them to be that bad. They're averaging 68 points a game, and I think that's generous on some of the wins that they've had against teams that wouldn't even that shouldn't probably be in Division I. Give me Kentucky, the Wildcats, to win this by 30 plus. Won't surprise me to see them put up 80, 85 on Missouri and win this, not just going away, but embarrassingly going away. Give me Kentucky tonight.
So you like Kentucky to win, it sounds like. All right, good stuff there, guys. Let's check in with our friends from the Gold Sheet. They, too, have a play of the day. And just keep in mind, guys, the Gold Sheet free for the rest of this week. If you haven't had a chance to check it out. Now would be the time. Head over to thegoldsheet.com. Check out all the tools, the data, great resource, all the great write-ups, of course, for you guys to be a little bit more profitable, and that's what it's all about. Knowledge is power. Great stuff over at the Gold Sheet. And tonight they are going with, Steve Merrill. They are going with Hofstra over William and Mary. They're laying 27 touchdowns. No, I'm kidding. It's a little over 2 touchdowns here tonight, but you know what? Hofstra 15.5. The Gold Sheet says take them here tonight. And you can read this full write-up, guys, simply by going to get your free access to thegoldsheet.com right now. Head over there and check it out. All right, I'm going to go with, I love an underdog here tonight in this spot, getting about 27 points. Actually, it's 24.5, I think. Give me High Point taking on Michigan State here, because it certainly feels a little trappish for Michigan State, given the fact that they got Big Ten conference play coming up this weekend. I think they have 2 or 3 guys that are going to be out. 2 of their starters are going to be out. Doesn't feel like, and by the way, a guy by the name of Tubby Smith is taking his team, his High Point team, to play against Michigan State. So it should be a very interesting matchup, to say the least. Michigan State will win. Will they win by more than 3 touchdowns? Don't know about that. So I'll take High Point plus the 22.5 is what we are seeing now. So let's recap it with Drew Martin going, shocker, Auburn laying the 4.5. Tony Finn says Missouri should drop down to D2 because they suck, and Kentucky is going to do everything they can to make sure that might happen. Matt Josephs, in the meantime, he likes the gift that keeps giving. He likes the Toledo team total over 81.5. Not expecting an awful lot of defense in that one. I'm looking at High Point plus the 22.5, and our friends from the Gold Sheet say lay the 15 against, what should be a D2 team, that William and Mary. Sorry, Steve Merrill, it is what it is. Guys, don't forget, best bets are locked and loaded right now. Drew Martin told you about it. He's ready to go, as is Tony Finn at WagerTalk.com. And, of course, Mid-Major Matt over at SportsMemo.com. Guys, best bets are available right now. Those 3-day, 7-day, 30-day all-access packages. Great opportunity to hop on board here, guys. Clean up here this final week of 2021. Hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner, guys, and make sure you come back and join us again tomorrow for another edition of the College Basketball Tip-Off Show. And on behalf of Drew, Mid-Major Matt, and Tony Finn, guys, we appreciate you hanging with us. Best of luck with your plays tonight. We'll talk to you again soon.
Wager Talk continues to be an innovator in this industry, and our WagerBucks program is just one example. Because it's the holidays and we're feeling festive, we're giving you $100 worth of WagerBucks for only $49 using promo code WB49 at checkout. So how do they work? It's simple. You buy credits in bulk at a discounted rate and then apply them dollar for dollar towards your purchase. Use your purchase WagerBucks on $2 Tuesday, $9 packages on Monday. Buy your favorite 5% plays with or without the guarantee. Grab a 7-day all-access pass or even a 12-month package. That's right, purchase WagerBucks can be used on everything with no restrictions at both WagerTalk and SportsMemo.com. Due to the incredible savings, this special offer is limited to 1 per customer. From all of us here at WagerTalk, Sports Memo, and the Gold Sheet, we wish you a wonderful holiday season and a prosperous new year.